Hello, welcome to day 25 of the 30-day journey to 30, which just blows my mind because you realize that it's 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There's only 5 more days left. We're doing this! I think you should do a happy dance with me. I mean, you don't have to, but you could totally let your inner truth out right now. Practice creativity, just let it happen. There are only 5 more days. I love this. I love this. Obviously, I'm excited. You know the drill. I'm always excited. Today, we're going to continue the thought process of consciousness, exploring the process of consciousness through commitment. So we've already talked about awareness, we've talked about intention, and now we're diving into commitment. One of the very first things I want to point out about commitment is that it isn't commitment to doing things per se. It's not saying I have committed to do this forever and so I will do it forever. It's more a commitment to the process of awareness and intention. It's more a commitment to the process of figuring out who you are and all of the things that go with it so that you can live your most authentic, brilliant life with the most clarity. So it's at its core, commitment is a concept that means, in our purposes, it means commitment to clarity, commitment to your authenticity, commitment to your brilliance, and commitment to the clarity that you need to make all that happen, okay? And the reason I want to point that out is, we'll dive a little bit more into this, but commitment in our sense is the ability to stick to it and not stick to it. Yeah, hold that for a second. We're going to dive into it. So before I get too far into this concept of sticking with it and not sticking with it, I want to bring you a quote from Teddy Roosevelt. And yes, I got this from Brené Brown. I watched her little segment on Netflix, and this is obviously Teddy Roosevelt's quote, but she's kind of commandeered it for herself, which is totally applicable. But Teddy Roosevelt once said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." Okay, there was a lot in there. Very good quote. I highly recommend you go Google it so that you can read it a few more times. It's Teddy Roosevelt. It's considered his man in the arena quote. You can just Google that, Teddy, man in the arena. You'll find it. But this idea that you're going to fail, you're going to succeed at times. You may succeed by accident. You may fail greatly. But all that really matters in the end is that you are in the arena, that you're doing it, that you're trying it, that you're in the arena. That's what really matters. And I think that really encompasses the stick to it part of commitment, that you can't just live your life on the sidelines. That's not where life happens. It's commitment to get off the bench, put your cleats on, get in the game, or whatever kind of sports analogy you want to go with here. But it's doing it. It's sticking with it. The other side that I mentioned a little bit earlier is that there's a side of not sticking with it. And that's just as important. And I know I've quoted her often, but we're going to head back to this book, Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. And she actually has a chapter titled, "You Don't Have to Stick at It." I think this is important. So you don't have to stick at it just because you have been sticking at it for so long. The longer you stick at something, the harder it can be to let go. But no matter how long you've been clinging, holding together, slogging away, it's still going to be easier to let go today than it will be tomorrow. You can do this. While you might feel like the years and the struggles and all the effort will have been for nothing, I promise you the opposite is true. You will not be left with nothing, and nothing is ever wasted. That inner voice that is calling you, she has no plans to let up. Drown her out all you like, but there she'll be, sitting on your chest the moment you wake up. She wants the best for you. Listen to her whispers, her gnawing, and her cries. She can see the vista coming up ahead, and there's a reason she won't give you a reprieve. The only way to stop her nagging, her kicking, and her screaming is to loosen your grip. Trust, surrender, let go, give in. The lead up to surrendering might take an awful long time, but once the act is done, what is meant for you will come to you immediately, and then you'll wonder why you didn't act sooner in the first place. Love that. Love that. Because commitment, kind of like we talked about when we talked about the concept of no, is that it's a lot easier to say no when we have our yeses, right? And same with commitment. It's a lot easier to commit to things that we want to when we have our no's in place. So kind of like the opposite when we talked about, excuse me, when we talked about the concept of no, it's a lot easier to stick through certain things if you're able to realize which things you need to unstick from. And in the end, the commitment is ultimately to listen to that inner voice. Listen to, as you're digging first, commit to digging in within yourself. Commit to the process of figuring out who you are, what your untrue limitations are, what the stories are that you've told yourself. I'm trying to think back to the 3 things. It's a commitment to staying aware of your surroundings, a commitment to staying in tune with your intuition, a commitment to being aware of your inner stories back there, and then a commitment to really listening to your intuition, taking in all 3 of those things and coming back inside and saying, what ultimately is my intuition saying here? Is my intuition saying, yes, creativity is showing up, keep at it, stick with it, you can do this, keep going, this is it, you got it, daily, let's keep going. I see the vista, not giving you a reprieve, we're going to keep going. Or a commitment to tuning into your intuition and hearing her say, or him, whatever your inner voice speaks to you as, and hearing them say, we've done this for a while now, but I feel like it's time to let go. And then following through with that. That's commitment. Commitment isn't committing to all the things all the time and continuing to go. Commitment is a commitment to the process of sticking with things and letting things fall. Commitment to hearing what your intuition says so that you can make the best decisions for yourself moving forward. Okay, so like a lot of the concepts we've covered so far, very contradictory at points, right? A lot of paradoxical this and that options, but I think we're on the same page. I think the explanation of commitment, this concept of commitment, is resonating, because I'm sure by now you realize there are a few things that, you know what, I do need to commit to this and keep going with this, and you know what, I need to commit to listening to my inner voice. I've heard her tell me that this isn't what's for me, and I need to commit to her over this action. I need to commit to her and my inner truth over whatever this action is that I've continued to do for so long. So in order to really bring that to life, I have 2 activities, and I adore these activities. I think in the future I'm going to turn this into a worksheet. So if you are interested in getting that one day, you can, somewhere on my website, it was probably a pop-up, you can exit and come back to the website. Or you know what, I'll put a link below. Make that super easy. I'm going to create a workbook with these 2 activities, or a collection of the activities that we've talked about so far. And if you are interested, you can go ahead and put your name and your email in that slot there, wherever I end up putting it on this page. It will be here. I will magically make that happen. And you can get this delivered to you as soon as it's created. So the 2 activities are your stop doing list and your every damn day list. Two very simple lists to create, but that's the best way to keep honing your commitment to your inner voice over the actions that you're doing. So the stop doing list, is what it sounds like. It's taking inventory. It's one, allowing yourself to stop, right? Going back to that process, allowing yourself time to stop, allowing yourself to look at everything that's been going on in your life, allowing yourself to listen to all of the processes that are running, right? What are the limiting stories that you've been telling yourself? What does your intuition say here? So stop, look, listen, write it out. And then all of the things that you end up writing on your stop doing list are things that once you tune in with your intuition, she said, time to let these go. And do that. Create your stop doing list, see what's on there, and start letting those things go. And then your every damn day list, I love this because it's like minimum. What can you commit to? Minimum. Because my goal here isn't to add more and more and more to your plate. My goal here isn't to add awareness and expansion and all of these to do, although I do want to add an expansion to your list. Let me rephrase that. I think a lot of times we're living our lives and then we come to the awareness that we want to make changes. We want to be more awoke. We want to be more authentic and brilliant. And we want to discover this clarity of our lives. And we realize at some point that that feels like a lot. It feels like a lot. And now I feel guilty. Now I'm adding guilt to not being able to follow through with listening to my limiting stories and connecting with my intuition and being like, I feel guilty because I can't take a week-long retreat to Bali to do this meditation cycle. Like I can't unplug for a week. Like it's all of the guilt that comes with that. And so I want to pause that specifically. We're not here to give you like a self-help hangover. I am not here to give you a self-help hangover. Not in a little bit. So when I say commitment, I want to be careful about that. And that's why I added the part about finding the things to not stick with, right? Because that's important. So to summarize that before I continue on that tangent, because I clearly do have a lot to say about like the self-help hangover and not adding extra guilt or extra action items to your already busy plate. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to get back to your authentic, brilliant, and most clear self. So your every damn day list is a list of like 3 to 4 things that at minimum every day needs for you to feel like, you know what, I did it. I did my 4 things. We're good. I'm happy. And a lot of times those 4 things, like literally I want you to think of things that are a minimum of like 5, or not a minimum, maximum of like 5 to 7 minutes. Like you could complete them in a commercial break. If all you managed to do was a Netflix binge, you could pause Netflix for 5 minutes, complete this item, do another break, complete this item, another break, complete this item, another break, complete this item. And if you have Netflix binged all day, but you've done these 4 things, it is still a damn good day. That's why this is called your every damn day list. And so you want to think of things that, one, up your health. So maybe that's committing to drinking 2 glasses of water every day. Like, no matter what, every day, 2 glasses of water. If I can drink 2 glasses of water, it's been a successful day. So something kind of health related. Is it a 5-minute walk? Is it 2 push-ups? Like I'm going for minimum here. Minimum. What's the minimum thing you could do to move you towards your health? What's the minimum thing you could do to take care of your house and your organization? Is it 5 minutes to make sure that the sink is clean every night? And that's it. Nothing in the house. Everything else in the house can be awful, but your sink is clean. So something house organization kind of related. Another thing that you want to think about is connection to others, right? And this one's important because a lot of times we can kind of get alone in ourselves and bogged down and we're just not connecting. And so is it 5 minutes to send a text to just one friend? Like literally that takes seconds. So I've drank 2 glasses of water, I've emptied out my sink, I sent a text to Susan. And if those are your 3 things, that's perfect. That is a damn good day. We've done the minimum. I'd like to add something luxurious. So what's like an indulgent extra? And this could be anything. Is it you feel really good when your feet are clean? That's a silly thing, but at the end of the day, I have to wash my feet before I get into bed. I'm a morning shower person, but at night my feet have to be clean. And so that's my thing. That makes me very happy. It makes me feel ready for bed. It could be meditation. It could be anything that feels luxurious to you. Eating, well, I don't want to necessarily say eating 1 piece of chocolate, but if that's what it is, if it is buying the expensive chocolate and having 1 piece of chocolate, and then that's your 4 things, that day is successful. You have taken care of your body, you've taken care of your house, you've taken care of your connections, and you've taken care of your well-being, like your sanity. That's what we're aiming for here. So your 4 things, and that's your every damn day list. Like that's the minimum. So now you have your stop doing list, your every damn day list. You know that commitment isn't committing to doing things infinity ad nauseum. It's a commitment to this process. It's a commitment to deciding what deserves your attention and a commitment to deciding what needs to be let go and what needs to fall out of your life. Okay. So this video is becoming longer than that. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up here. Commitment. Stop doing, start doing. You have an every damn day list. You know the minimum it takes to be happy. Just commit to connecting inward to your inner voice and that process. Don't feel like you have to keep adding stuff on your plate. This whole process is that you are in the arena, and whether you are victorious as hell or maybe you keep falling and keep falling and keep falling, you're in the arena. Commitment to showing up. So tomorrow we're going to dive into clarity, which is, other than brilliance, it's one of my like second most favorite words. And then it's like not downhill from there, but we are so close to the end. Like clarity is the last of the 7 C's. We've got this. We have got this. So I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk about clarity, and I hope you have an amazing day.